Hey guys! So, one person that's been really blinking at me is Joan of Arc, and I've wanted to just find my way in that direction and see what that consciousness feels like and the message that Joan of Arc would like to share through me today. So, I'm just going to go ahead and relax here and get cozy. I'm just allowing my energy to just relax some more. It's sort of like filtering through my heart, and I'm sending some energies down into the earth. And when it goes down into the earth, I feel it like rushing off to the sides as well. And I feel a lot more transformed, as in calmer, more relaxed. Okay, this is sad. There's a feeling of sadness. There's a feeling of an apple that didn't grow to fullness, but it became sort of like a weaker, smaller, like the runt of the litter. And there's, how would I describe it? It's like a full-fledged apple, but it's not your ordinary apple. It's skinnier. It's not the apple shape at all. We're wondering, how did the apple grow perfectly but grow weird? Because apples don't look like this. Apples don't grow like this. It's sort of like just the core with a little bit more flesh and some skin around it. So it's more like a rectangular shape instead of a spherical shape. And it's a dark red apple. And you can't enrich your life by biting into this apple. In fact, you're just going to go straight to the seeds, and that's not going to be fulfilling, not at all. So this apple is no good then, right? We better toss this apple onto the ground and disregard it. And I say, whoa, 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 whoa. Sometimes wait a second. No, I don't feel right about discarding this apple. I know it's not going to provide nourishment, and perhaps this apple wasn't meant for food. Maybe it was not meant to be consumed. Maybe this apple has another purpose. Oh, I'm starting to feel so many people saying, complaining, crowd noises of boo and throwing rotten tomatoes and things like that. And this apple is sort of like put before many people that are judging the apple based on the way it looks. And there's a lot of people booing this apple, and I see what is like a child. A very young feminine figure, but like a rough and grungy, dirty looking girl. And she's kind of scrawny, and her arms there's actually a wooden pole, a circular one. It's not like a cross or anything. It's actually like a circular, like a telephone pole. And she's got her hands tied behind her back, and she's sort of head bowed down. And people are judging her right now. They're booing her, criticizing her. Within herself, she's quite rambunctious. I mean, within herself, she's got all kinds of thoughts and feelings and reactions, responses inside of herself, like, if you don't understand me, you people are so superficial, you're so mindless, you're so quick to accuse, you're so quick to judge, but you're not seeing something of value here, you're not seeing something precious here. So she's actually quite rambunctious inside of herself. She's not choosing to go into sorrow about the moment. She's actually feeding off of the reactions and becoming stronger from it, like an angry grizzly bear. But she's just like a, I don't know, 14-year-old girl, but she has short hair, and she's looking downward. My spirit guides asked me how I can tell that if she is a girl or a boy. I say that's a very good question, because if at this time, I mean, if you were to look at the face and the way the hair is cut, you would not suspect that this was a girl. You just wouldn't suspect it. They aren't going to do anything to this one. There's an idea of putting a sword in her gut, but it doesn't happen. And it's more like a dagger. It's not as long as a sword. there's a man standing here, and he's got a kind of a righteous stance, or he sees something in this individual, and he stands tall. He's got white hair, and it's got kind of waves of like a white curl or something, but it's not curly, it's just wavy. He has a pretty manicured beard, but it's not very long. It's just a little bit of a beard, but it's very well manicured. It looks really clean, and he has just all like super ultra white hair, and he's got a big robust belly, and he stands and he looks at this one. I keep seeing what is a figure playing the piano and creating what is like a theatrical, dun dun dun, like, but all these like theatrical notes to create a whoa, like what's going to happen, and oh, what is going to happen, like kind of climactic sounds to kind of alter the way that you feel inside yourself, and you're just wondering what is going to happen, what is going to be the decision here, but it's very theatrical right now. It's very theatrical. And again, there's people throwing rotten tomatoes and saying, boo, boo, get her off the stage. See, people are calling this a her, even though it looks definitely like a boy when you get really close. We're entering into what is the reality, like a real, the experience of something real. But it never really goes fully into something real more than it stays kind of theatrical. I'm going to go along with the story. I'm really enjoying this. Again, we are looking at an apple that is not fully grown, and an apple that grew different in an unusual way from all the other apples. And there's a spirit or an angel of some kind that comes to tell me that this apple is precious because it didn't grow like all the other apples. It's not behaving like all the other apples. It's unpredictable. It's different. This apple is precious because it is different. And the angel shows me a barrel of apples, and this sort of saying one rotten apple will ruin the barrel. But this apple, you would say, yuck, toss it away, even if it's not rotten, is something about the appearance, would just be a no good apple. But all these round, perfect apples, there's still a rotten one in the barrel that's starting to ruin the barrel. So somehow one rotten apple is now inspiring all the other apples to become rotten right along with it. All the while this different apple has not been thrown in the barrel. I say, what is keeping this apple safe? Like, what is this keeping this apple from being tossed away? And it's interesting because there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of spiritual conversation looking on both sides and talking about both sides of what is a teacher or chaos, or chaos too can be teacher, but there's something like a loving and chaotic, and they're sort of analyzing and looking at, and as they do this, time is passing. And nothing happens, and nothing is decided about what will happen with this unusual apple. Something about a bad seed. Perhaps this apple was born from a bad seed, or this apple is a bad seed. Something of that kind as well. Everything's relaxing here. The curtains are closing. They actually fall down to the ground instead of shutting from the sides. They come from above and then they fall down to the ground. But now they're just soft. They're heavy curtains, but they're not like rumbling or moving all over the place. They're just softly still. They're just still. I feel inspired to take another direction with this. This energy shift is, there's an energy change here. As I'm trying to go in another direction, I keep seeing that I have a full, my heart is a full-sized apple. And I have a heart that is an apple. And I say, well, Wow, I got a nice healthy apple heart. That's pretty cool. I don't mind that. The conversation is about what makes a apple heart go rotten. What makes an apple heart, a heart that is an apple, what makes that type of heart go rotten? And they ask, is it people, is it other apples that have gone rotten, that influence a good apple to go bad? And that's a question for you guys. That's a question for all of us to think about that. And they're showing me, Spirit Realm is showing me what is society and how society is sort of, you know, we're being raised by, you know, our parents are trying their best. And sometimes we question, you know, in certain scenarios of what a family could look like, are those parents really trying? The question is like, so there's something of a bad apple is now going to bring up another bad apple, is going to bring up another bad apple. And the more of these sort of bad apples are in the world, the more we're influenced by negativity. So the world is becoming more and more negative. And who then is going to purify the world of this negativity of all the bad apples? We have to get rid of all the bad apples in order to start over again. It's actually on that level. We're talking about this. So I say, well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that we need to get rid of people in order to keep the barrel healthy. Because time too, even if we have a barrel full of healthy apples, even time too will rot an apple just because time ages us and time transforms us. And so it might not be a rotten apple that inspires us to go rotten. Maybe it's just time. And maybe we're just getting older and we're deteriorating and we're just leaving those parts of ourselves behind. And it just happens to be the rotten apple now because we're not in our vibrance, you know, our state of youth or vibrancy. It's interesting because we're looking at all the layers of society and how we could define it as an apple. So we take what is a bad apple or a human being or a heart with bad intentions, and now we're also looking at an apple that's just simply aging, and it's not meant to be vibrant anymore. So even those we leave the body behind kind of thing, so the body returns to the earth. The apple too returns to the earth. So even the bad apple returns to the earth. Like eventually all apples will return to the earth. So we're still contemplating through a conversation about this. I haven't actually experienced Joan of Arc. I'm just experienced what is a conversation related to this, Joan of Arc, and this is what I am stepping myself into. I was going to explore leaving the space to go find this thread, but I was called to explore my heart as an apple. So let's see what happens next. It's all my spirit guides and higher self talking right now. I'm returning back to this robust man with a really super ultra white beard and hair. He has really kind, happy, delightful eyes, and he has a really good, big, generous heart. He has a generous heart. And he's also a very robust man as well. So it is something about his stance. You could imagine he has a hearty nature, and he loves to eat too. So there's something about that, about him and just his style. And he's wearing purple and green colors. He just can't stop appreciating or liking or seeing something in this one that is still hands around this pole. And all the booing is subsided and it feels like time has passed or everybody has left this, and while this one is still sort of tied there. This one is an emanation or an image of Joan of Arc. The ropes it's like the ropes just wither away, and Joan of Arc falls flat on her face on stage. And her heart speaks, not her voice or her mouth, her heart speaks. She's exhausted, actually. This sort of intense grizzly bear is really exhausted. And he tells her that he loves her. I mean, it's a very warm, like a grandfatherly type of way that he expresses it. I love you. I love you. It's just something in the way he expresses it that it's like very kind, very, very kind. And it's almost like saying, I love you. I don't want any harm or any hurt to come to this little person or this young person or whatever it is. And he's so big, it's like this little thing is like, even if this is a 14-year-old or something, they're really skinny and kind of weak, and he's sort of lifting them up. And again, the piano is playing like this drama. What does this mean? And where is this going? And what is going to happen here? Everything fades out. Everything fades out. The whole show, the whole scene, the whole everything just turns to black and goes quiet. And this is how the story ends. This kind man picks up a very weak person who's been booed at, thrown rotten tomatoes at, who hasn't the strength anymore because they're different, and who's become weak inside themselves and doesn't have the strength to stand. And he picks this person up who is different, and it's like he's going to take care of this one. But it's all dark, like it's all black, like there's no more to this story here. And there's something of a unusual type of angel that comes down out of flames actually. And I can't tell if this angel is male or female. And this angel has jet black hair. And it's very distinguishable that I mean, I can't tell if this is a male or female face, but the hair is longer actually, and it's jet black. And the colors are like really noticeable, red, black, and like a golden yellow color. And it's almost like I experience marching band type of energy, or solid structure, marching straight ahead, and then inspiration, like the music of the marching band, a pep rally kind of, but it's like very fierce, but very serious and very encouraging to move forward. Keep moving forward. Keep marching ahead with confidence, with soul, with joy, with color, with music, with life, with your heart. Like, it's not just about war or battle, it's about living your life too. Like you are the energy of a marching band, marching straight ahead. This angel is very much like the energy of a marching band. I've never experienced an angel like this before. This angel bows to me. This angel even shows me that it could be male, it could be female, or it could be it. It doesn't mind even being genderless, being a no gender. And it's very much so a structure, almost like analytical thinking, kind of got a gray alien even style, like an emotionless kind of computer program, like an analytical side, very clever analytical side, and putting things into compartmentalization, like this, but really organized task worker, but loving it, ambitious to do it, loves this type of proper logical thinking in a way. It's like really specific. And this angel also is is also just, it's just sort of like, I guess you could call that the structural side of a marching band, where everybody has to step at the exact same time for it to be perfect or to be in order. And there's something about the delight when things just happen in sequence, like the logical, like the perfect, everything happening in sequence, but marching forward, but also has such a spirited musical side. So it's also like lots of emotion and joy and happiness, intermixed with this, this like, critical thinker or something, like step at the same time and you're gonna freak me out with joy. And it's passion and movement forward, and nothing is going to hold us back. And it's like almost pep rally in the way that we can do it. We can band together. We can do it together. We can band together, and we can conquer anything when we do it together. But we do it with spirit. We do it with spirit, and like the marching band, we do it with like pep. You know what I mean? We do it with pep and spirit and all of that. It's got a very motivating side, very motivating. It does, the angel, the non-gender angel kind of, it doesn't, is it male, is it female, or is it it? It's okay being a genderless, actually, and representing those alien species or even humans who feel, I mean, like it's across the universe, to be like an emanation of those creations too. And then bows again to say hello, hi, and to be proud, to be exactly as it is as a divine creation, as it is as a divine creation, and is proud to be genderless as well, very proud to be genderless, and definitely emanates the spirit of Joan of Arc. It likes to play male, it likes to play female. I mean, likes to play male more than female, I would say. But it likes to also be genderless. Very strange, because I don't feel like a heartfelt, like a relationship with this angel. Like I don't feel like I have a soul bond with it. Like I recognize it, you know. I don't recognize it. It's so weird to call this angel an it, but that's what I'm called to call it, so I am. I ask, what is the barrier that I feel? Like, why am I not feeling like a closer connection with you? This angel smiles at me, and the angel says the reason why is because you haven't felt this side of me. And the frequency is compassionate, it's feminine, it's absolute, I mean, it's breathtaking, it's actually sensual, it's a divine feminine sensual side, and my soul really resonates with that frequency. Like I really connect well with it, and I feel like a great deal of honor and reverence, because the male side was kind of like trying to be a showboat in a way, and I wasn't fully there. Like I was loving it. I thought it was super cool and different, unique from what I've experienced before, but it wasn't getting into my heart deep enough. And I loved the emanation too of the genderless side, because we don't really see angels as genderless, but this angel does like to express itself as genderless. I feel like it's okay to define this angel as a spirit of Joan of Arc, and the feminine side though is breathtaking, like a very sensual woman, very nurturing, very loving, very caring, like a very spirited woman. Let's say very spirited and very divine woman, very spirited woman. I mean, colorful too. She would be really fun to hang out with. And she would also be very kind and have a wise compassion about the conversation. I say, wow, I like experiencing all the sides of you, and if we could blend them all together, I really find this to be so dynamic because I need to feel the love, that love frequency, to really allow myself to resonate with all the other parts. Because when the love isn't there, it feels kind of empty. I get the pep band thing was fun. It was fun, but I need the love in that fun too. I need to feel the love inside of that fun. Otherwise, it feels kind of like a computerized or something. Like it's like I'm not as enriched or touched by it. This angel says, thank you, Abbey, for letting me express myself today as I am many sides, as I am many versions of creation working together. And thank you for appreciating me as I am. And again, bow. This angel bows here, and I'm just sort of like in a moment. I'm watching here. I feel complete. I feel complete with this. I don't feel like there's anything else. I'm just gonna just wait a minute and see what my energy field does. I asked this angel, what do you think about the conversation about the bad apple and, you know, this sort of theatrical play, and, you know, what do you think about all of this? I'm just going to see. I hand this angel a big, juicy, full red apple. The angel takes it in a black gloved hand and crushes the apple, actually. And so the apple starts to squish and juices come out, and it becomes just an apple pulp. It just it's like the apple has lost all of its value because it's been messed with. It's been messed with. Nobody's going to take that out of the supermarket. It's not fully squeezed or anything. It's just like mangled. And then the angel takes the other fist and punches it, and it starts to develop a bruise. And now the apple is bad or rotten. And then the apple wasn't born rotten. It became that way. Became that way through being tormented or tortured or hurt. And when it became hurt, then it became mangled and not worthy, not desirable, not wanted. And sometimes things that are not wanted become sad and broken, and then they can become an infection. They actually can become an infection. That infection then can become crime and stealing and even worse things. So many bad echoes of things that apple can become. And when we work with mangling, punching, creating hurt, we create infection. To remember that in humanity, to remember that in every day, everything that you do, all of your choices, you have to ask yourself, is this a choice where I am bruising another soul, another human being? Because if I am bruising another human being, I am creating rot in the barrel of all of humanity. So I must be very self-conscious, very self-observing about how I'm choosing to be gentle or delicate, a good listener, a loving heart, or if I just having a bad day, so I'm going to give you a punch too. Just because I don't feel good, so I don't want you to feel good either. Some apples are like this. When they feel bruised, they need another apple to feel bruised, so the mirror is reflective. So what I see in my own self, I want to see in you, so then I can know I'm okay. And that way we can know that we're both the same. We're equals now. And the angel says that that's a very sad thing. I get very sad when I see an apple become sad, but not learn how to nurture itself or to deal with the experience, and then to use that experience then to infect all the other souls. And the other souls choose to experience that infection, and then they emit that infection as well. And now the whole planet is experiencing it. The angel says, is that all? Is you want to know anything else? I say, well, are you Joan of Arc? Because nothing is telling me that you are necessarily Joan of Arc. Like, the angel's feminine, loving side comes to me, and She says, thank you for asking me that question. She steps out of her body and becomes fully her divine feminine self, and she gives me a really long hug. She sheds a tear, and she really wants this world to remember what love feels like and how love brings the meaning into everything, so all the pieces of the puzzle can come together and generate meaning through love. Her love is really wonderful to feel it. It's really neat actually to feel her as this divine feminine loving emanation, and this masculine side. It's the feminine side that really generates the love, but the masculine side is really really all the ways that I've described, and then this sort of this neutral. This is like a no, this sort of other, neither male nor female. It's an it side. It's all getting very exhausting for me. That could mean an energy shift or new information, or it could mean completion as well. She wants to know what you think. She wants to know what the viewers think if this angel is Joan of Arc, and how you perceive Joan of Arc and what this message means to you. And she's like a teacher wanting to give a lesson today to humanity that comes from various perspectives and ways of expressing what is the same meaning or different sides of a meaning, in order to comprehend all the apples in a barrel. And it's to comprehend myself. To comprehend the spirit of Joan of Arc. That's it. That is it. Okay, that was interesting. I'll be thinking about that for a while. My brain is sort of like a ringing noise. Whew. All right, I want to thank you guys for exploring this experience with Joan of Arc with me. Feel free to comment. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting comments on this one. And if any of you want to connect with me for a one-on-one session, I would love to do energy work and share wisdom with you in your life. Please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful day.